for a construction planning study for conversion.
Let's give GCC the chance to take this project to the finish line. Let's commit to staying close and making sure that this brand new facility benefits GCC and its students, Department of Public Health and Social Services and its clients.
Still, key questions like if the building is occupiable remain, as the building assessment is ongoing. GCC President Dr. Mary Okada testifying it would be prudent for the college to hold out for the results of that assessment, but on Bill 21 agrees ownership of the property is crucial.
Without this, it would not be in the best interest of the college to pursue any grant funding or financing.
Meantime, Public Health Director Therese Ariola wants the lot to be reserved to be consistent with the purpose of a diagnostic and treatment facility, as the Manila building housed specialty clinics, adding the agency would need government financial support as infrastructure grants are usually restricted to program requirements. Ariola also raising multiple concerns, including that an MOA with GCC may not allow the college to secure funds for construction.
The department once again offers the concept of a shared approach for the use of a Manila central location and recommend to combine aspects of Bill 12 and 21. DPHS strongly recommends that the facility assessment currently being conducted be completed and its recommendation drive the future path of the current public health central facility.
Meantime, the final assessment report for the Manila facility for Phase 1 is due July 18.
Well, a public hearing was held recently on Monday to confirm the nominations, or the reappointment rather, of Stephen Carbolito to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency Board, as well as to discuss passing legislation to allow the agency to employ their own environmental law agency attorney. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
Stephen Carbolito's reconfirmation to the Guam EPA Board of Directors was the first item of business during Monday's public hearing. The current chairman of the board outlining his achievements over the past 3 years and highlighting the board's review and approval of island-wide cleanup programs, expenditures for waste removal, and the GEPA's integrated solid waste management plan.
If you'll let me, I hope to use my background as a Guamanian, a Chamorro, a young professional, and a licensed engineer to continue advocating for our environment and future generations.
Also addressing areas needing improvement.
I want to see improvement on at the agency is enforcement, notices of violations, and the Air Force's open detonation permit.
But to achieve this, he believes the agency needs an attorney exclusively for GEPA's use, shifting focus to Bill 83, which would allow just that. Michelle Lastimosa, Guam EPA administrator, says,
"These laws protect people from significant health risks and authorize us to develop and enforce environmental regulations within the regulated community in order to correct or stop activities that endanger the environment or public health."
Lola Leon Guerrero, director of the Bureau of Statistics and Plans, also supporting the bill, but requesting the option to hire attorneys through additional employment mechanisms.
These alternative employment actions allow BSP to address the immediate and pressing need for an environmental attorney while avoiding long-term financial commitments tied to the indefinite funding of the position.
Senators raising questions about the agency's past experiences with retaining counsel and the importance of having a dedicated environmental law attorney.
Personally, I would hope that someone who has served as our AAG in the past would be interested in applying, maybe even classified employees currently that would be interested in doing a lateral transfer to our agency.
The committee is now considering all testimony heard on both matters before casting their votes. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Thanks, Faye. Now on to a recap of Monday's legislative session. Lawmakers voting on a number of bills and resolutions, each of them seeing varying levels of support, but passing nonetheless. However, a single resolution, Resolution 7, which urged the U.S. federal government to fully fund the construction and maintenance of air raid shelters and other civil defense infrastructure, failed to make it through resolution. Author Senator Will Parkinson on the result.
Today, this legislature had a chance to speak with one voice on a matter that should transcend party lines and politics. What we witnessed is a rejection, not of my name, or my authorship, but of the principle that our people deserve to be protected, prepared, and acknowledged by the federal government as more than a strategic outpost.
Senators also voting on several nominations for members to the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, the Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities Board of Directors, the Hagåtña Restoration and Redevelopment Board of Commissioners, the Guam Land Use Commission. All nominees were duly confirmed by the body. The man accused of being the getaway driver in the deadly robbery of a Korean tourist is back behind bars after failing a drug test for the third time. Stephen Keanu Camacho appeared before presiding Judge John Terlahi Monday after testing positive for methamphetamine again. The judge, frustrated by repeated violations, told Camacho, "This is your third time here, all for ice." Camacho had been under house arrest, but after another failed drug test, the judge ordered him back to jail, setting his bail at $1 million. Prosecutors left the final decision to the court. Judge Terlahi also spoke directly to Camacho's parents, who are his third-party custodians and are responsible for ensuring their son followed the conditions of his release. With another court hearing set for June 16, Camacho remains in custody. A teenage boy is under arrest accused of repeatedly molesting a young girl known to him. 18-year-old Pedro Nena is charged with 6 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct. The victim allegedly told police the abuse started in May 2023 when she was 12. She alleged Nena molested her at least 2 additional times the following year. Nena allegedly admitted to police that he inappropriately touched the child once and denied the other incidents. And in other news, on Monday, President Donald Trump was asked if he has been given any updates on the missing soldiers in Lithuania. He provided the latest information detailing that 3 men were discovered deceased. He went into detail about the circumstances of their deaths.
So 3 are no longer with us, and 1 is unfortunately probably in the same category, but they haven't declared that yet. It was a very heavy truck, like a toy, but I mean really heavy, that lifted the heaviest equipment. And it would seem that the bank of a lake collapsed. You know, the weight is so big. And it was at night, and it was very cold weather, and ice, a lot of ice. And it's possibly slipped, and the weight is so enormous of this thing. It's a massively heavy vehicle. And if they slipped a little bit, that's probably what happened, and it flipped. And 3 are gone, and 1 is missing.
The 4 soldiers disappeared last Tuesday during a training mission at a large training ground in the town of Pabrati. As we reported Monday, one of the missing soldiers was identified by family as Dante Gogo Taitano, a native of Guam. And just before news time, family did confirm with KUAM that Taitano was one of the soldiers found dead. Our thoughts are with his family and those affected during this difficult time. We'll be right back.
So I think self-expression comes from within, and I'm doing nebbing to express what I feel through garments, through fabric, and through styles. I took an idea of transforming the traditional muumuu into contemporary silhouettes. Why not be bolder, more creative with the way you present yourself to the world? I hope to empower women to feel the way that I feel when it comes to understanding and accepting different cultures. It's something more positive so that our communities can be in that same direction. Nebbing encourages a Micronesian woman of today to be bold, creative, passionate, and to freely express themselves without taking away from your own heritage, but just adding value to it.
Go on a journey to discover true health and wellness. At the Medical City, we bring you expert care, cutting-edge treatments, and personalized wellness programs. From wellness checkups to relaxation retreats, nurture your well-being in a place of healing. Explore the Philippines. Experience the Medical City.
In here, you can expect to find crystal clear audio, expansive display space, endless entertainment, and more comfort for everyone. But even with all that, we still left room for all the unpredictability, spontaneity, and unexpected things you'll find out here. The new 2024 Grand Cherokee lineup. Jeep, there's only one.
Welcome back to Primetime. Well, it's the beginning of a new month, and April is of special importance as we recognize those families around the island who live with autism.
That's right, and our Jason Solis is down at Adelup for the beginning of Autism Awareness Month, where the kids are the stars of the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1! Autism community together. Congratulations to the ACT on Autism Awareness Month. Thank you so much for celebrating with us here at the Office of the Governor of Guam.
All right, I am here on the lawn of the Governor's Complex here at Adelup. Of course, Joe Blas is with me, my dear, dear friend of many years, the president of Autism Community Together. Joe, what a wonderful day here as the children of the Autism Community Together group raise these wonderful flags. They're flying throughout April, and you have a wonderful theme for this year.
Yes, our theme this year is Autism Life, Embrace the Journey. And you know, because as parents of children with autism, we experience it each and every day, and you can't do anything except embrace the journey and then just move forward.
But these are amazing children and the families, you know, that come together, and this amazing group, ACT, there are always events that you have, and especially in this month, it's about advocacy, it's about reaching out, and it's about awareness.
Right, because having this group, having each other, you know, it empowers you to be able to move forward. So even when you're having a bad day, you can find another parent that's going to help pick you up.
Now remember, everybody, these flags will fly throughout the month of April, because April is, of course, Autism Awareness Month, as I said. You got to come down to Adelup. Come pass by. It's the people's office, the people's house. Come by and check it out. You have to experience this in real life, Joe, because it makes such a big statement. I can feel the love.
Oh yes, you know, the whole ceremony really showcased what our children can do. They presented the colors, they sang the national anthem, Guam hymn, and then they read the verses of the proclamation. And then we culminated with the families raising the flags. I mean, how much more special can that be?
I just got an idea, Joe. You know where these flags probably look really beautiful from? The Laddy of Freedom. Let's go check it out. Okay, that's an amazing vantage point. Yeah, okay. Back to you guys in Harbin. We're going to go check this out. So an amazing day down here at Adelup.
The buzz surrounding changes made in D.C. by the new administration continues, not the least of which is modifications to grants and funding for agencies and nonprofits.
That's right, but an expert on the topic sheds light on the impact for local organizations and how to navigate the changing landscape.
Holly Rustic is an author and, by that merit, well aware of the power of words. As such, the company she founded teaches people how to leverage the specific lexicon of grant applications to secure funding for their nonprofit projects.
We're definitely feeling the impact of federal grants. As a lot of programs have been halted, the federal agencies have really been gutted on a lot of levels. A lot of just grant programs are taken off of websites that we normally have seen and been submitting for. And I think right now we're really seeing a reaction to the executive orders, right, is what's happening.
And in today's government restructuring climate, she's finding herself using words in conversation to help navigate the future within the landscape of federally backed grants.
There's so much change going on so quickly that it is hard to kind of keep up with all of the different change and all of what's going on with grants. There's also been pulling down, putting back up, pulling down. So we're seeing that as well. So even on the federal agency side, there's a lot of uncertainty on how it looks like they're rolling it out. So I think right now it's not to say everything's going to go away, but absolutely there will be some changes.
So understanding exactly the shifting sands of federal funding is essential.
So I think that in 2025, there's a lot of uncertainty. Yes, there's a lot of changes, and we are following that and seeing what happens, but there still are grants available. There are still grants open. Grants will not go they won't go away overnight. They are an integral part of our economy. And in Guam, how we're kind of seeing that roll out too is we're also seeing a lot of government agencies, a lot of nonprofits, a lot of institutions here do apply for federal grants, so they are very much watching what's going on.
Well, it's a hallmark of our people to lift each other up and encourage greatness so that our culture is able to thrive.
And it's that spirit of Inafamalik that was on full display as outstanding young people were given the tools and recognition they need to take us to the next level.
When your pursuit is your passion, it's never a job. And for love of knowledge and the progress of our island culture, 4 exceptional young people were recognized and rewarded for their tireless passions towards endeavors they feel strongly about.
I truly believe that writing, as of recent years, has been very prominent in our community, where now we're seeing writers from all around the Marianas come and get their books published, and it's absolutely wonderful. But I still feel like, for me, there are still stories that need to be told. Creativity to be expressed.
Franklin Fujihara, Caleb Cruz, and Francine Cruz took their place in the spotlight as awardees for the Indigenous language, local music, and science education. Katie Izon has parlayed her gift for using the written word into research into cultural creative storytelling and formal reporting.
Having this recognition from UOG Press makes me want to work even harder. So I'm so excited to be going out and continue to be writing stories for the community, especially through journalism.
The Saipan native uses the Pacific parallels between communities to shape how she chronicles stories, as well as how they're shared.
Definitely back home, we do have a strong oral tradition, and a lot of the stories that I know about my family and about what goes on in the community is definitely word of mouth. Taking stories from a small community, taking stories from a big community, and finding the similarities and differences between those two.
And whether in the form of local legends, news reports, or tales that bring people together, Katie never forgets the key aspect of quality over quantity.
One story at a time, one community at a time, one person at a time, for sure.
Leaving my phone and bush cutter outside. What's gonna happen? Oh, yeah. Oh, take it. Come on, bro. It's free, bro. Yo, bro. Just take it. Dude,
looking to ditch your old phone?
Take it.
Trade into Guam's most reliable network and get an extra $300 off the latest phones on any unlimited plan. GTA, we start with you.
At the heart of Guam, there's one place where everyone comes together. Kmart, your American superstore, celebrating 30 years with you. To our brave service members, enjoy a special military discount every day as our thanks. To our local community, we've grown with you, bringing trusted brands at prices you love. This season, celebrate with us. From fiestas to family gatherings, we're your one-stop shop. Since 1995, we've grown with you. Here's to 30 years of memories, savings, and the spirit of Guam. Kmart, where everyone is family.
Anything's possible. I push to the limits. I climb every wall. I keep on believing. Anything's possible.
If
there's one thing we've learned, it's never to underestimate the spirit and strength of the people of our island home. Which is why at Bank of Hawaii, you, your dreams, and your possibilities will always have a home. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Let me win. If I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
All right.
Don't need to work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with 6 new collectibles in a Minecraft movie meal.
Super speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Bye. I wish they
could move back home.
Should we build on our honeymoon? Yes. Yes!
First Hawaiian Bank knows that family comes first. That's why our bankers work with you to make your what-ifs a reality. Personalized service and digital tools, all under one roof when you bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Okay, everybody, can I have your attention, please? All right? Okay. It's back. Yes. 2025 Koku Weekend is coming April 13th, Ipao Beach. We are going to have a half marathon on April 12th, and then the next day, the 5K Ekinen Relay. That's for the kids. Make sure to register right now at visitguam.com/Koku. Speaking of registering for awesome sports events, make sure you lace them up because the 2K and 5K Run Walk for Autism is happening on April 5th. Showtime is 4:30 in the afternoon. I love these afternoon 5Ks. They are super, super awesome. Course starts and finishes at the Chamorro Village Huts. Proceeds benefit our friends at Autism Community Together. And you want to join the informational workshop for applied behavioral analysis. This is going to help understand the treatment, the love, the caring that goes into the autism spectrum disorder community. We support them, and make sure to sign up for this wonderful, wonderful event because my buddy Lola Rosario is facilitating it. She is an expert in the field, and you can help contribute to this very worthwhile cause.
Happy 20th birthday to Tamika Lynn Duenas. Shh, don't tell anyone that you're my favorite niece, your shout out says. Enjoy yourself and have a wonderful birthday from Auntie Ray Ray. Happy 20th, Tamika Lynn. And half that age, happy 10th birthday to KUAM kid Gideon Jackson from mom, dad, and the rest of the family, which includes all of us here at KUAM. Gideon, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone, and happy birthday, Gideon, our KUAM kid.
Happy birthday, Gideon. You're so cute.
You are so cute. Well, that's your primetime show. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus.
And I'm Mitsuki Hirayama. Have a great evening.
Health, Home, and Lifestyle is brought to you by the Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
Hafa and happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Health, Home, and Lifestyle. I'm Jason Salas, and on yet another episode, we are showing you how to live a healthy and happy and informed island life. Here's what we got for you this week.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
It is the second day of the work week, everybody. Hafa day, and welcome to House to Home. We're getting started early right here. Liz and Gina are in their humble abodes in Hagåtña. I'm here in Harmon. And ladies, the ADU bill has been passed. I know we've been talking about this, and some people have said, oh, okay, well, to go through the legislative process, it's going to take weeks, if not months. I mean, we talked about this like what, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and Liz, it passed by a vote of 11-4. So somewhat favorably, the newly elected 38th Guam legislature were in favor of it.
Yes, exactly. 11-4 votes. Of course, I think the 4 senators that were not in favor kept introducing amendments, of course, that never got voted in. There were some issues from the different government agencies about certain things with the requirements. I think one of the key measures is ADU is accessory dwelling unit, meaning an additional unit to what is currently existing, or a unit that they can add when they're building. Now, the ADU, I think Senator Chris Duenas' objective is to help, it's a start to help alleviate our housing shortage. But the key element with this bill is that if you wanted to build one, you can have your mom, your brother, your sister move in. It has to be, of course, a family member to rent that unit. And I think I'm not sure whether they implemented the window of time that in the event that particular family member moves on or passes, what can they do with that unit? Can they rent it? Can they rent it to anyone? I think there was some opening in that bill that will allow for it at a later time. I don't remember, Gina, whether they restricted that for a 5-year window or whether that was just open. But the key thing as well is that even though you're requesting to build an ADU, you have to conform with the standards, the requirements regarding putting a nitrate system if you have a septic tank. So there are guidelines. It's not one of those where it's free for all, where everyone can do whatever they choose on that property. There are policies and guidelines that are in place that individuals have to follow or contractors have to follow when they're building an accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah, just because you own the property doesn't necessarily mean you could build, like the Shangri-La or the Taj Mahal or Disneyland. I mean, a lot of people do, like we said, extensions. They do the outside kitchen. But now, Gina, you're actually, as Liz said, you're actually providing hopefully an additional source of income, or in the situation we're in with a housing shortage, another place for a relative or a loved one to stay.
Yeah, because the reason this came about is, I mean, we all know there's a housing shortage, and this is just a mechanism. It is not the solution, but it's a mechanism to kind of add to homeowners' ability to create more units. And the reason ADU makes sense is because you're building on your existing property that you already have your home on. And so the infrastructure is already there, or you can upgrade the existing infrastructure and add on an additional unit. And I think in the bill, Liz, the last version of the bill, one of the units, whether it was the primary unit or the ADU, had to be occupied by an owner. So we'll get the final draft, because I know they had hearings on it. There might have been some changes after we had seen the bill. So it'd be good to get a copy, and we could share it with Jason, and he could share it with the community with our next episode. But the other part of the bill that is really key, and I thought this was, I did not even think that they were going to add this in, but they did, is the component in the bill that says if you have an existing structure, and this is for all our friends and our family who ended up already building an attachment to their home or building on their lots, and they've been told all these years, well, that's illegal. Well, yes, it was illegal. But now in the ADU bill, it says that you can go in and you can apply to have that structure certified and make it legal. Whether you're doing it, making it legal so that your family member can continue to live in there, or you're perhaps thinking for the future when your family member doesn't need it and you want it to be a rental, or perhaps, you're just thinking, I want my property to be legal, like most of us want our property to be legal.
Okay, well, one question though.
Get it certified.
Yeah, now that it is public policy, does this mean if anyone had been building, kind of like outside the scope of what was allowed before, does this mean they have amnesty for any infractions they may have had previously?
Well, I don't know about amnesty, but the bill says you can go in and
they won't get in trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you can call that amnesty, but it's a process. It's not automatic. So amnesty for me is like you pass a regulation and there's, it's kind of a blanket policy and you don't have to do anything special. You just have to prove you fit in that category. That's not the way the bill was written. You must go in and get your property certified. The reason for that is it says you still have to conform to the law. So you got to go in and they got to look and they got to say, okay, you know what? Yes, when you built it was not legal, but does your septic tank, or are you connected to sewer? If your septic tank is there, it needs to be upgraded to the new nitrate reducing system. I mean, so there's guidelines, but it gives you the ability to make your property legal.
There you go. Okay, Liz, I realize now in hearing all of these discussions that the three of us are having, and much broader conversations certainly about this ADU, and a lot of people are very, very interested in it, and that's why we brought it up so many times, is are ADUs, do they necessarily have to have access to the main home, or are they entirely like, structures that are connected to the main facility, but even walled off? So for all intents and purposes, they're their own house, or does it matter?
An ADU can actually be an extension to a current building, an existing building, or it could be a separate structure. Again, we talked about meeting the guidelines and making sure it's within the setback requirements and the septic and the sewer. So there are guidelines. So I know that there was concern that the density would be affected, but where are we creating more people to occupy Guam? We have a set number of population, and I don't think that we're going to go overboard. And because of the rules and the guidelines that are set in place, how many people will actually qualify? I mean, it's not the whole island that will qualify. There's probably a number that will qualify, provided they meet all the setback, the guidelines that have been established by Guam Waterworks, Public Works. So again, there were feedback from the different entities when this bill was brought forward. I know that there were some objections to the certain items in the bill, but I think that part was rewritten to address the different issues that was of concern.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And Jason, no, you know, when you have residential, when you're doing residential units for lease, it's not necessarily putting your property in the category of commercial. The use is still the same. It is still residential.
Okay.
So, you know, so by definition, you're still residential use, even though you're renting it out. And, you know, can I say something about the issue that came up, that this is a realtor, that this bill came about because of the realtors?
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, no, thank you very much for the compliment. We accept it. Thank you for the realtor community that has gone out there and is addressing the needs of the community. And for those realtors that have made the effort to go to the legislature and advocate for these things and make the effort to testify and make the effort, especially John Duenas, who always makes the effort to look at some of the write-ups, to look at some of the amendments, and he makes the effort to address them and send in his testimony. Thank you, John, for taking your time out of your busy work day to do that. And I know you're not doing it for the money. Neither is Liz, neither am I, and neither are the other realtors who show up. We're doing it because we see the people in the community. We see what they're struggling through. We see what's happening to them and their families, and we're concerned, and we want to invest our time to serving the community. And that's how we're serving the community, by investing our time. We could be doing other things, but we choose to do that because we understand there's a great need. And so to the people at the legislature who gave us that credit, I want to thank you personally for acknowledging our effort. We really appreciate it. And the next thing that we want to target and we want to focus our attention on is the fact that building permits on Guam is like brain surgery. That process needs to be fixed. And I know there are some sharp senators. This group, this time around, they're sharp. They appreciate what the community is going through. And not only that, they're proactive. And so that's the next thing we have to address. We can't fix interest rates. We can't fix the cost of labor. We cannot fix the cost of material, but we can fix the building permit process. And guys, that's next. I'm looking forward to working with you on that.
That is the next thing in Gina and Liz's crosshairs. Or let's say on their to-do list. Let's be more judicious. Let's say that.
to-do list.
Yeah, we've been working very close with the senators, and of course they have asked for the Guam Association of Realtors input, and there's a government affairs committee that provide the input. So everything pretty much filters to them. Gina and I, of course, have our own personal agendas and our own personal opinions, which is separate. We don't want to mix that in, but at the same time, we're advocates for improving our community, and we're both not running for senators. We're all here to make a difference in our community.
There you go. I'll check you in I'll check you in 2 years if you need a campaign manager.
No, we like our day job, but this is, Jason, the thing I don't understand, the legislature has called us in to testify about the building permit process. So many government affairs, committees through the government agency have asked us to go and testify about the building permit process. Contractors complain about the building permit process. I mean, we all complain about it. This time, let's do something about it. It's time.
Yes.
There you go. So the time for talk is done, as they say. That it's now a call to action. So time to go. It's go time.
It's go time.
You got it.
Real quick before I let you ladies go, obviously the realtor community, I would assume, would be very, very pleased at the passage of this bill. Have you received anything from the community at large, from any other people in the real estate pipeline of Guam and part of this ecosystem about the passage of the bill?
I think the realtors are happy that finally the shortage will be addressed. Of course, it's not a fix, but it's a step in that direction. And there are people out there. In fact, what we wanted to do, and they can call us if they'd like, we'd like people to call us and say, hey, we want to show up to say we are in favor of this thing and we have plans to do something about it. So it would have been nice to have them plastered on the screen, but we didn't have enough time to reach out. So, hey, community, if you have something to say, call me or Gina, and then we can have you plastered on the screen with House to Home, with Jason, giving your opinion. And I think that's important. People have to speak up, not just Gina and myself. The community has the right to speak up, and this could be a format for that.
We love having guests on the show. We had a fantastic guest last week, our friend from Coast 360 talking about finances. We would love to hear, and not just when the situation is all rosy and everything like that. We want to hear about your concerns too. But hey, that's what the stage is for.
Yeah, tell us your ADU story.
Yeah,
there you go. Hey, we want to hear about ADU building projects. I would love to hear some now that the path has been cleared and everything. I would love to hear how everybody's getting creative and on what building plans they have. So if you have something, please come forward.
I think we'd like to hear the ADU story, as well as people who have constructed homes, the problems they've had in the building permit process. That would be another one.
There you go. And I'm sure there's a lot of those out there. So, hey, we open it up now. Don't just post a comment, give us a call and shoot us a note. And everybody, you too could be on the show and we want you to be. All right, ladies, thanks. Looks like we got our work cut out for us too.
Me too.
All right. See you next week.
Thank you, Jason.
Bye.
House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Anything's possible.
College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with the Bank Ohana 12-month CD special. You'll earn 3.6% APY with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible with one of America's most trustworthy companies.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Check it out. Pizza Hut's rippable, dippable, cheesy bites pizza in Ranch Lover's Flight with 3 flavors is a game changer. With 28 cheesy-filled bites, everyone's gonna be dunking it. The Cheesy Bites Pizza and new Ranch Lover's Flight. Get it on the Pizza Hut app.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Hop a day, I'm Clara Calvo bringing you your weekly renewal. After an almost 10-year hiatus in leading yoga and wellness retreats on island and off, I was guided to Retidian Eco Beach Resort in 2019 by a friend who thought it would be the perfect yoga resort retreat, and it was. I immediately fell in love with the resort and cooperatively worked together with the owners and their team in bringing about the first Soulcation Guam. We held retreats spanning from 2 to 3 day weekends to a full 6-day glamping week, co-facilitated by amazing local yoga and wellness practitioners, as well as visiting co-facilitators who offered special classes and activities in everything from Ayurveda, Iyengar yoga, Kundalini yoga, capoeira, raw food plant-based chef, and holistic nutritionist. After a few years in that high-frequency setting in the northern quadrant of the island, I decided to take Soulcation down south to Maleso and Inarajan. Interestingly, the first yoga retreat I held over 15 years ago was at the Inarajan Garden House, not long after our first off-island retreat at the farm at San Benito in the Philippines and the Coconut Village in Rota. Much has changed over the last decade, and most especially over the past few years. And after most recent visit to the farm in the Philippines, I was made aware just how much has changed not only for myself and our island, but also abroad in regards to wellness industry and specifically wellness resorts and retreats. You'll find that there is much more focus on the mental, emotional, psychological aspects of health and wellness. Although the COVID era has ended for the most part, and we are no longer seeing the magnitude of physical ailments, we are still seeing the toll those years have taken, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Many are still dealing with the repercussions of mass fear and hypervigilance, and many are still seeking tools for self-care and holistic well-being. Granted, you cannot separate those aspects of ourselves, the mind, the body, the psyche, and the spirit, and accordingly, you cannot separate the health and well-being of each. The stresses of our mind will directly affect the stresses in our body, and vice versa. This is why taking a holistic approach is always ideal. This brings me to Synergy Soulcation 25. This 3-day yoga and wellness staycation from April 11 to April 13 is sure to provide not only the healing elements of yoga and meditation, but also activities, guidance, and support from a professionally trained and experienced mind-body coach and counselor.
My name is Raina Calvo. I am a counselor, coach, and yoga teacher. And what I'll be offering are tools from the Center for Mind-Body Medicine. All these modules are designed by Dr. James Gordon, who wrote the amazing book Unstuck. And some of it entails utilizing art, narrative writing, meditation, breath work, guided imagery, and so much more, and yoga and good food. So I hope you'll join me and Claire Calvo, who is also facilitating. Hope you'll join us. It's going to be loads of fun.
With over 20 years of experience in our respective fields, my sister Rena and I are excited to join forces in providing a weekend of mind-body activities, yoga, meditation, power breathing, chakra aligning, and so much more. The amazing kitchen alchemist Jenny Chargaloff-Kaufman, who is the founder and owner of Fuuna Cultures and former vegan whole food shop Into Something Good, will be providing her nutritious and delicious plant-based cuisine for all the meals during the retreat, which will surely nourish and nurture the body and soul. So take a weekend to yourself for holistic healing, rest, and relaxation, all conveniently offered just minutes away from home at the tranquil and exquisite Hotel Nico Guam. Remember, the better we show up for ourselves, the better we show up for those around us and for the world. Give yourself a break, give yourself the gift of Soulcation. For more information, please visit synergyguam.com and go to the promo page, or you can go directly to guamtime.net, Synergy Soulcation 25. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time on your Weekly Renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Vuelvo, yo te traje. Pago ya el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí está mi mami anormales. Qué cabrón, tú mueves ese nalga. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la vida.
Everything we build is from the ground up. Every great idea, every crazy idea, every next idea, every truck, and everything in it. Everything you hear, everything you see, everything you feel when you drive it. We put everything we have into our trucks, so you get everything out of them. We're Ram. Trucks are what we do.
Family Health Matters, presented by IHP Medical Group. Families looking for guidance on supporting children with autism will soon have a valuable resource at their fingertips. A special workshop on Applied Behavior Analysis, or ABA, is set for April 12th at the Blue Ocean Behavioral Health in Tumon, offering parents insight into this evidence-based approach. Applied behavior analysis is widely recognized as the gold standard for autism treatment, helping children improve communication, behavior, and life skills. Now, families have the chance to learn more about how this approach can benefit their child's development. ABA is not a one-size-fits-all therapy. It's a flexible framework that meets each child where they are, helping them build meaningful, functional skills for daily life. The upcoming workshop will guide parents through key principles of ABA, showing how individualized treatment plans are tailored to fit each child's strengths, needs, and cultural values. Andre Bainum is a licensed professional counselor at Blue Ocean Behavioral Health and has been a counselor for 16 years, and he spoke a little as to who would benefit from attending the workshop.
The workshop is about autism, and it's applied behavioral analysis for caregivers, teachers, parents that either know someone or has someone within their family that has autism. And applied behavioral analysis helps the individual caregiver and others within that person's life to help them manage things like triggers, some of the behaviors, and helps them to overall, function to the best of their ability.
A major focus of the workshop will be parent training, teaching families how to use evidence-based strategies in everyday moments, from mealtime to playtime. Organizers say ABA is not about changing who a child is, it's about unlocking potential and fostering connections that allow them to access more of the world around them. For those looking for a deeper understanding of autism and related conditions, Dr. Alan Butler, a licensed clinical psychologist also at Blue Ocean Behavioral Health, offers comprehensive psychological evaluations. These assessments help differentiate between autism spectrum disorder and other conditions like ADHD, learning disabilities, or anxiety disorders that may present with similar symptoms.
Sometimes when we look at behavior, we have to be cognizant of the fact that some behaviors are normal due to development and other things, there's the terrible twos, right? So there's certain behaviors that is to be expected. So being able to differentiate between behaviors that, are frequent, intense, and maybe not within the norm, that's when I think we can come into play here at Blue Ocean Behavioral Health. We can provide assessments, guidance, and understanding for what that child may be going through. And then we can provide either therapy for the child or the person, and then help the parents navigate some of the complexities within their home and other areas of their life.
It's important to look at the full picture.
Autism there are specific things that or behaviors that you can notice within a child, usually around the age of 2 or 3, if they're not making eye contact, if they're not really engaging with others. Some other behaviors you notice is like arm flapping, things like that, obsessions about specific items, and not really engaging. Whereas ADHD is more the kind of inability to focus their attention on specific tasks, forgetfulness, behavioral problems, unable to sit still, fidgeting, constant fidgeting. Usually it's noticed within the classroom by the teacher. The teacher will call it out, things like that. And then, they're referred to the counselor and the parents come in and they talk about it. So we can provide assessments for ADHD as well as autism using evidence-based assessments and analysis from our therapists here.
A speech delay or sensory sensitivity doesn't always mean autism. Other factors like hearing issues should also be considered. A thorough evaluation helps ensure children get the right support. For children who are nonverbal or preverbal, communication tools like Proloco2Go can be life-changing. This app allows children to express themselves using a customizable, user-friendly interface. Again, the ABA workshop takes place on April 12th, and it's open to all parents at all stages, whether you're just getting started or already receiving services. Attendees will leave with practical tools they can use right away.
Even if you don't have direct contact with a child that may be having behavioral issues due to autism or ADHD, but you'd like to learn about it, I invite those people as well.
For more details, visit ihpmedicalgroup.com/ABA workshop.
That's all for Health, Home, and Lifestyle, everybody. Thank you as always for watching. And remember, you can stream all of our segments on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News. I'm Jason Salas. Stay healthy, Guam.